right. Well, I would like to thank everyone who's here in this room for thank everyone for showing up. I think there's a high chance that a few folks here had a rough evening yesterday, so I'm going to try to keep it very succinct and interactive, like some proofs. So Node Guardians is, I'm Sam, and I'm the founder of Node Guardians. Node Guardians is what I like to call a role-playing game for experienced security researchers and programmers, where you have to wait. Oh, I think it's not working. Oh. It's like working here, but not there. No. Oh. Pas de souci. Great. All right. So I'll start again. Node Guardians is what I like to call a role-playing game for experienced security researchers and programmers. It's a public good, and the way it works is it's pretty simple. It's pretty much like a role-playing game like Baldur's Gate or Heroes of Might and Magic. You log in with your Web3 wallet or your GitHub account, and you have to solve what we call quests. Quests are programming challenges that are very like lore-rich. They tell a story, and as you break the different contracts and solve certain objectives, the story unfolds. So as you can see, this is like how the interface looks like. You take a challenge that's, that deals with something you want to challenge yourself on, and there you go. You can find all sorts of things from, like how to implement your own VM on top of Ethereum, your self-hosted EVM, or how to relieve some of the most notorious hacks and so on. A lot of things that you can do on the platform to challenge your Solidity skills. The cool thing is that you have different types of quests. You have CTFs, which are basically like capture the flag. You might be familiar with this if you've played Capture the Ether or Ethernote. We're trying to expand that concept, go a little bit further with that. We have build. Build is basically a type of quest that is not a CTF, that's not directly done on testnet, and we need to verify some specific aspects of your code, so we write tests in Foundry to make sure that your code satisfies certain criteria, and in order to evaluate your code, you just need to fork a public repository and install a Git app to see if your code satisfies the criteria that you set. And then you have resource management or gas optimization. And of course, theory. I'll get to that point later. So yeah, the challenges cater to experienced developers, as stated earlier, and you have some kind of proof of skill that's tied to each of the challenges in the form of crafting materials, gold, and experience that is soulbound, linked to your identity. So the idea is that if you complete a challenge or a campaign, or if you do something with a high level of gas efficiency, you can get the best loot. And so the visual representation of who you are as a developer gets better. And the idea is to get this proof of skill as composable as possible. So yeah, you also have a leaderboard like in League of Legends or Dota with an elo system that might be introduced very soon. And yeah, there's some kind of incentive to go further down the campaigns and replay them with a higher level of efficiency. But why would you actually solve all these quests and everything? So the idea is that through these proof of skill, you can leverage meaningful opportunities. You can, for instance, use that proof of skill to apply for a job if you want, or apply for a grant. Or you can use it to, I don't know, access a hacker house. You could think of all sorts of use cases built on top of that infrastructure that you have on Node Guardians. We have, for instance, some regular CTFs all around the world, some gatherings, some meetings, and the cool thing is that it's really based out of consent, and the platform is built for the users. It's user-centric, so we're not going to send you emails or nag you or ask you to give some personal information. You just come and you join a community. If you're willing to contribute and help the others, propose challenges, you're welcome to do so. But you can also just do your own thing, and we won't ask you to do like some shady stuff or retweet something to access the next chapter. It's really like a concept that we really attach to a Node Guardians. You can also use that to legitimate your contribution to critical open source software. So let's say you want to contribute to an arbitrary ZK VM, and you want to prove that you're familiar with certain aspects of another arbitrary provable language. You can do a very tough non-CTF quest to prove that, and then that also smoothens the matchmaking between all sorts of operators and coordination within the open source ecosystem. So you could think of all sorts of use cases out of the challenges that are listed on the platform that we design. Yeah, you can use that with an arbitrary foundation, etc., etc. So it's a proof of scale platform. I won't lie that I just made the slides this morning in a very rock and roll way, so you'll excuse the ordering is not that great, but yeah. It's, of course, a public good, and it's not going to change. And yeah, so far we have over 100 hours of content that exists on the platform. You have about 60 quests that you can play. They're all linked to each other. There's a story that unfolds, but I also understand that not everyone is into video games. So if you want to abstract this, if you want to skip the whole gaming side of things, we always split the technical description from the story. A bit like when you skip a cutscene in, I don't know, any game, you're able to do that in Node Guardians and just focus on the code. That's totally possible. It is also a community-driven initiative, so we have contributors from Immunify, the Ethereum Foundation, and many other cool organizations within the Web3 space. And if you're feeling inspired and want to bring your pierre à l'édifice or your stone to what we're trying to build here, you're more than welcome to do that. And yeah, so that a lot of people could benefit from your know-how. We'll make sure that it fits with the whole Node Guardian vibe and environment that we're trying to build here. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I would like to go straight and jump straight into a demo and introduce you to what's coming up next now. Right now, Node Guardians is not totally permissionless. It is permissioned to some extent. So we're looking to work towards a sandbox where everyone can just upload the challenges and leverage the pipeline to do whatever they want instead of going through us. So this is the next thing that's coming up. And as I said earlier, we're only on Solidity for now, but wow, this is changing today as we're launching our Cairo 1, or I should say Cairo 2 integration. A bit like when World of Warcraft is shipping an expansion pack, you'll have dozens of hours of content to really get to a decent production level with Cairo. And you should expect some other zero-knowledge domain-specific languages to be added on the platform, but not only ZK DSLs, but yeah, some domain-specific languages. I'll just say that. If you have, if you want to engage with us, or if there's something you wanna share, some feedback, positive, negative, every engineer at Node Guardians is also a community manager, and we really want your feedback to make this platform better. And yeah, I'm just going to show you very quickly the flow, and if I have some time, answer some questions. So yeah, you just log in with your wallet. You have like a campaign selector, a little bit like in any role-playing game, and you have these challenges. So as you can see, the story part is segregated from the technical description. So here we want to do the cream finance rect straight from your cozy home, relieve that notorious hack. It's totally possible to do that. You have some story that you can skip, and then you have some inputs, all the information that you need to eventually be able to exploit this. Then you deploy that contract on Girly, and you're going to need to steal the money in it, or you're going to need sometimes to manipulate the price oracle. And we just deploy a small contract called the verifier that is going to monitor the state of that contract you deployed to see if you've achieved the objective on that given quest. And based on how you perform, you're getting rewards that you can spend at the Forge to craft these proof of skills. And soon these proof of skills are going to be mintable, so you can imagine some kind of experiences that are gated by these proof of skills. So if you want to make some kind of gathering for security researchers, you can just say, oh, if you're level 5 on Node Guardians, or if you have completed that very annoying challenge, well, you can, I don't know, get a ticket or do anything that you wish. And yeah, there's a wide range of challenges that you can find, gas optimization, also some content on broader concept of distributed systems and DeFi that you might need before tackling some challenges like on stealth addresses or randomness. Sometimes it is better to have some theory before tackling some problems, and we're also trying to offer this in the funniest way. Let's put it this way. Yeah, we're also shipping Cairo tonight, so you'll have some pretty spicy challenges to get on the right level with Cairo. Some spicy stuff like how to implement your own brainfuck VM on top of Cairo, how to exploit L1, L2 messaging to steal money from a contract, and all sorts of evil things that we would love you to try out on the platform. And to each stack, there are specific rewards that are tied, and I really invite you to take a look at it. The experience is pretty simple. There are no IDE or remix whatsoever. We really want the hacking experience to be as similar as possible to production like coding. I'll call it this way. So you just set up your own environment and you code, and that's it. Then you have a visual interface of VS Code. You can just see how you know, like you can just get your results, verify if what you've done is right or wrong in a very seamless way, I'll put it this way. That's pretty much it. I am happy to answer any questions that you might have, and yeah.
Do you plan to migrate to like Sepolia or Holshowitz when it's out? Because Gorley is troublesome.
Sorry?
Do you plan to migrate to like Sepolia, testnet, or Holshowitz when it's out?
Absolutely. Right now we're on Gurley, but a Sepolia migration will be needed at some point. So
yeah, because with Gorley, there's the problem with the not enough like free ETH.
No, we have a huge faucet. We always give you Gurley
so
ETH.
you have that.
And every time you complete a challenge, you get again the amount of ETH to do another challenge. So don't worry about it. You don't need Gurley ETH. We got it sorted for you.
Okay, that's great.
Yes. Any questions? Oh.
So congratulations, like I don't know what you've done. Like it's really
Thank you.
nice. I was wondering if at some point you think about like having like a skill tree, like where you do everything, and you can imagine like even like if you want a job, you just say, okay, this is my skill tree in Solidity and things like that.
Absolutely. If the screen sharing does work, I can actually word premiere the upcoming skill tree, because Node Guardians is still a beta, and the V1 is coming in 2 months. So I can give you a sneak peek about what kind of skill tree you can expect and why the new design is more meaningful than the status quo, that what we have right now. Yeah. But I think it's not working because, yeah, the thing is frozen, so I'm like, yeah, whatever. I can show it to you like right after the talk if you want. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. So matchmaking tab is something we're looking into, but we want to keep the thing pure, because if you design a platform for experienced developers or intermediate to senior developers, they can get annoyed very fast. And we just want to make sure that we do something that's efficient, but that does not rely on pulling the developer by the neck and forcing him into a recruiter or foundation. So a consent-based system is we're trying to make the specs for it, and I hope that we can have it live by the end of the year. So for now, the way we imagine it is very simple. A bit like in Final Fantasy, you have that board with some papers, some monsters to slay, and if you slay the monster, you're able to get in touch with the foundation XYZ or job creator XYZ, and then get something that's meaningful to you, get match made with the project, etc. And that's pretty much it. You would have some matchmaking tab, and you could use all that reputation that you've built to ensure and maximize your chances to do something, if that makes sense. I can show you how it looks like also. Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Again, thank you very much. And if, yeah, thank you very much.